everyone. How are you tonight? So I'm going to be talking to you about my social action project. And first I have to say I bit off a little more than I could chew by my topic, my initial thought and presentation that I displayed to all of you. And thanks to Alice and Beth, I did narrow it down a bit, and hoping that as I move towards the final paper next week, I'll have it even more streamlined. But my general idea now is teaching music freely to 5 and 6 year olds through motion, motivation, and meditation. I will start with the developmental aspects of that age group. Often because of that, I'm sure those that have worked with 5 and 6 year olds, they're oppressed in the fact that we put limits on them. Well, they're developmentally, well, she can't do this yet, or he hasn't learned that yet, or she won't do that, I know her. And I feel like we've all seen that parentally and teacher-wise. We've seen it from even the student themselves. They've already learned they can't do this or they can't do that. So I'm going to uncover, emotionally, physically, intellectually, what they can do and what they can't do. I'm also going to bring in somewhat of a gender association. I think this was Dr. Hendricks' intention, is that we learn something as we go along and maybe shift and transform our project a little bit, and I surely did. I've been doing some experiments with my students. I have 3 5, 6 year olds, and I've been working this for the last couple of weeks since I had this idea with them in the classroom, and it's been very successful, I will say, so far. And so I'm learning a lot about how to use these 3 things in the classroom. I also will do the actual physical methods of motion and meditation. I'm also a voice, aside from a voice teacher, I'm also a yoga teacher, and I work on the breath a lot. And that's going to be the mindfulness meditation part of how connecting the singing that we do and the music that we learn, how the breath is the foundation for so many things, and for instruments, of course, as well. But I will also talk about the motion and how to keep that particular age group physical. Point in case, I had a student this week, one of those kids, and she's pretty attentive and definitely loves to sing, and she has a class with her brother, and she was starting to get tired and had a little bit of a meltdown, and I said, time to do jumping jacks. And I said, do 10 jumping jacks. And she just sparked up like, oh, wow. She did her 10 jumping jacks and laughed and giggled. And then after she did 10, I said, okay, you ready to sing? Let's do it. And she jumped right in and went right to town with everything. So it was really nice to see that was an immediate result and successful, and certainly supported the things that I've been reading and researching. And then motivation-wise, I've been working with self-efficacy and reciprocity with them. Believe it or not, even at that stage, I feel that they're totally able to understand basic concepts and communication skills. Their parents are all parents are present in every lesson I have, so they're taking all of this in. And I've learned that the parents are interjecting less comments when I'm talking now than when they first started telling me what their kid could do. And listening to their own children have a young voice, a direct voice, and the kids aren't running to mommy and saying, oh, mommy, what? And I love that, because I have students, a lot of my students do the parents talk for them. So that's another thing. And so my working title is, I don't know if you've heard this book called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. It's a children's book, pretty popular. And the concept behind it is, if you give a mouse a cookie, then he'll want this, and then he'll want this, and then they keep going until finally he wants a glass of milk, which makes him want a cookie, and it's kind of the full circle thing. And I'm going to actually observe how music can be taught in a full circle way while we're educating with skills through motivation, through action, and through mindfulness. And that is my presentation. My working title is If You Give a Child a Voice. And I hope that this was informative, and I just want to thank you all for your input. I do listen to what you say, and I take it in, and I certainly did this time because I realized I'd bitten off more than I could chew. And so thank you for that, and I look forward to listening to your social action projects as well. So have a great night. Thank you.